Let me talk about 3 common problems that keep people from graduating in 4 years, just in my experience with working with students. The first one's over-involvement. There are 101 great things to get involved in at Baylor University, and you'll be presented with a lot of those during Welcome Week and during your first weeks of your fall semester here. The problem I see is that people say yes to too many outside activities that keep them from completing their classroom work. So just the rule of thumb that I give people is to say no 9 times and yes 1 time. That will, given the number of invitations you'll receive, that will probably balance it out pretty well. By all means, be involved. Choose those wisely, but keep this in mind, that the path to graduation leads through the classroom, not through the involvement activity. So if you can keep that one front and center, you'll keep your balance on that one. The second thing that I see that really hurts people is just adding a double major just to add a double major. Let's talk about the pros and cons of the double major. I'll start with the cons. I used to be a college recruiter for a big company before becoming a college professor, and I interviewed hundreds of students on campuses nationwide. And for the life of me, I can't remember one time where I made a decision to hire somebody because they had a double major. I mean, maybe I did and I don't recall it, but it just doesn't come to mind. I didn't go, wow, 2 majors. What I remember hiring people for were master's degrees more than anything else. If they chose to stay longer in school, it's because they stacked a master's degree on top rather than a double major. So choose that, make that decision wisely. How would you rather tell a recruiter you spent your 5th year? Adding a second undergraduate major or adding a graduate degree or the better part of a graduate degree? I think it's a better trade for the graduate degree. Now, with that said, let's talk about how you could put a double major together. For example, let's say you come into Baylor with 30 or more hours of credit as a true freshman. You've taken a lot of dual credit, you did some advanced placement, maybe you did some hours at your local community college, and you bring in 30 hours. You've got a little wiggle room on there. So let's put a plan together. Let's make sure you've got the room for it on your 4-year plan and stick that double major in because you come in with the wiggle room. Let's say you don't have those hours. As long as you can put a 4-year plan together that checks all the boxes and allows you to double major, I'm more comfortable with you double majoring. The problem I have is when people just add it just because they think it's going to be value added, when really what it does is just stretches out your time in college and it may not add any value. So think clearly about that double major. The last thing I'll say, the third problem I see that keeps people from graduating on time, is surprisingly common, and that is they fail to take a full load. That means they take something like 12 or 13 hours rather than 16 hours each semester. You need 124 hours to graduate from Baylor University. Let's say you take 16 hours each semester for 4 years at Baylor. All you need is 124 hours to graduate, and that puts you at 128 hours. You're there. Now, if you come in and take 13 hours, you say, I want to play it safe. I don't want to have any trouble in college. I'm going to take 13 hours. You're going to come up short. 13 hours in the fall and 13 hours in the spring is 26 hours. You multiply that times 4, it's 104 hours. You're 20 hours short at the end of your 4 years. That's another 5th year of college, and you've just not graduated in 4 years because you played it safe. I definitely recommend risking it more on the 16 hours and discovering you have a problem rather than guaranteeing you have a problem with 4-year graduation by taking only 13 hours each semester. So those are 3 of the common problems that I've seen over the years working with students.